I'm going to show you today how to cut an 8.5 11 sheet of paper without trimming using Spellbinders Grand Calibur die cutting machine. There are going to be times when you are not going to want to trim an image. Typically when we're using Spellbinder die templates, we would use our grand dies, position it over an image and cut it out with the Grand Calibur die cutting machine. However, I'd like to keep my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper intact and perhaps cut a little journaling block out. If you had to do this without making a few adjustments, your paper is going to crinkle in the machine. So what you do is you're going to put your paper on your base plate A and then cover it with your cutting plate C. And if you try and run this through the tray, you're going to see that your paper over here is not going to fit and it's going to crinkle. This tray is to guide your cutting plates through. But you can achieve this by making a small adjustment on your Grand Calibur die cutting machine. You're going to remove this tray. There's two ways of doing this. I'm going to show you one now and one at the end of the video. So the first method is to you're first going to have to secure your Grand Calibur machine to a smooth, strong surface. And you do this by simply locking it in place with this handle. Now your machine is firm. What you're going to do is you're going to pull out your tray and you're going to give it a few firm tugs to let it simply pop out. So I'm just going to give it a few firm tugs on either end and it pops right out. Now you can guide your paper through without the edges crinkling. So I lay my image on my base plate A, I secure my die template for my little journaling block down. Let me just do that and I'll show you. Flip this over because you want your cut side of your die up and sandwich it with your cutting plate C on top of that. Without the guide tray, you want to make sure that you're putting your sandwich end straight so that it's fed in straight into your machine. And so with the tray not there, it doesn't affect the cutting process or the embossing process. And you can then take it out, remove your die template, and when you put this on, say, a 12 by 12 scrapbooking page, you can see that there's plenty of room here for a little journaling block and your image stays intact. Next I'm going to now to put this back, you just have to simply align this little white groove on either side with the little pink rails and firmly push your tray back in again. Next I'm going to show you a different method to remove your tray. Okay, so I've just shown you how to remove the tray from the Grand Calibur die cutting machine if you were to want to cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper without trimming. So now I'm going to show you a second method to remove the tray. This one is a little easier, but it requires a little technique. What you're going to need is you're going to need your embossing sandwich. You won't need your cutting plate C. You are going to need your base plate A, your tan mat, and your embossing plate. So you build your sandwich. I don't have anything inside, I don't need it. All I want to do is remove my tray. And you're going to feed your sandwich from the back, like this. And this sandwich is going to push your tray out. So you take your rollers through, you can see it's pushing the tray, and it might take you just to position it a little bit so that it can actually, you'll actually see the tray pop out. There we go. Pops out just like that. It's quick, it's easy, and it doesn't take quite as much muscle as the first method. Whichever method you choose, you have options with the Grand Calibur die cutting machine to cut large format dies, or even 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper without trimming. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope to see you again soon.